Hey guys, coming at you from back in the swamp. It is wet, it is cold. It's cold. It actually snowed 2 days ago. Dark fall is here. It's kind of a rainy, quiet day though, that you can sneak through the swamp back here, and everything's the ground is really soft, so we can be quiet as we sneak along. But I think if there's anything here, guys, it's going to be moving south. If it hasn't started already, it has been a complete change. In 1 week, we went from 30 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius. And it's been raining for probably 5 days now, and snowed in between. So if there's any creature here that doesn't stick around, that migrates, you know, the time has come. It's going to be migrating out of here. It's that simple. So I haven't been back in the swamp probably in 10 days. And up here in this area, I haven't been here probably in a month. We're not on any of my regular trails. We just decided to go for a walk and head for the wet swamp. Oh, down the back of my neck. Talk about wet. So Gage and I are just making our way back towards the wet swamp in an area we don't go a lot. It's hard to hear on days like this because there's so much dripping water, but that works two ways, right? We can sneak up on stuff. We can't hear them, but they can't hear us either, so you can see the majority of the leaves are down now. There's one area of swamp here. It's kind of like its own system, where it's right full of moss. We're on the edge of it right now. I never go in here. It's very hard to walk. It's very wet. But the moss is deep. It's like 2 feet deep. The edge of it starts right here. So you can see right there. And it goes, I don't know, 1.5 miles before it hits the wet swamp back here. But it might be good to take a look in there. I mean, if anything walks through there that's heavy enough, it would definitely leave tracks. Here we are. You can see it's very spongy. But if you're heavy enough, you know, for a while at least, you'll leave marks anyway. But as you can see, it's very thick. It's very hard to walk back here. It's very wet. Getting wetter the further back here we go. Well, there's a big X right in the middle of the swamp here. Oh, no. Just broke through. Ah, that's wet. Just went right up to my knee there and then keeled over. That's the problem with walking back here through this moss, is you can go through it at any time. Anyway, I'm trying to get over here to this big X. Look at that. It's wedged in there pretty good. So I only see one, and it's right here in the middle of this. I guess we could say this is kind of a clearing. You know, is that natural? Why? Why would a creature mark that in the middle of the swamp where no humans go anyway? I don't know. I'm not saying it isn't. Definitely movable sized poles here. They're only 4 or 5 inches around at the bottom. I could move those. So, I mean, it is possible that that was set up like that. What would be the point of that? If I zoom in, I can show you guys how I think this was created. This stick here would have had to fall down first, and it would rub on that one that's still standing straight up and down, and we can see the rub mark right there. Okay, so then this one would have had to been just laying there, okay? And then this one would have fallen down at a later date and rode down this one. And if we look up here, we again see marks where that looks like that's what happened. It has fallen against there and come down. So I would call this natural. Once that happens in that order, they're stuck there. That is locked in there solid. I see some more sticks up here. I don't know if it makes any structure or any form, but it's the only other ones I see that aren't down on the ground. Let's take a look. So right there, I see some more sticks. Let's just go take a look. Don't think there's anything funky going on here. Just taking a look. Got a weird loop to it, that's for sure. So X's and loops back here in this mossy part of the swamp, but I don't know. You guys know me, I'm gonna say that's natural. I'm not seeing any trails of, you know, where something big has walked. If I look behind me where I've walked, I can see compressed moss. But in a day or two, I think it's gonna come back up. I'm not breaking through. Only the one place I broke through back there. Will that leave a permanent footprint? You know, so I guess we could say that we should be looking for anywhere that if 190-pound Gary is breaking through, you know, would 400-pound Sasquatch be breaking through every step back here? Maybe. It's pretty soft everywhere. You'd be breaking through a lot more than I have, that's for sure. I should see some signs of it here, I guess is what I'm getting at. And I don't see any signs of that. A couple of leaners. We can see Gage's footprints there as well. So even he's leaving a trail. Kind of an eerie place back here. It's quiet. There's not a lot of signs of deer or other things moving through here, so I don't know. I guess it's probably hard to walk through here because of the ground structure. The softness of it, so I think most animals are avoiding this place. Might see more action once the ground freezes up here, I don't know. I don't come back here a lot, guys. Just thought it would be somewhere different to take a look and see if we could see any signs of anything going on. Well, I'm far enough back here now that I'm starting to loop around and head back up towards, I believe, I'm going to come out somewhere near where my hunting blind is. So that there would be woodpecker action all over that tree right there. It's right rotten, big old poplar. And then it just gave up the ghost and crashed down here. So I wanted to mention to you guys as well, you guys know I like the show Skinwalker Ranch, and I've watched all 4 seasons, and now they have the new show Beyond Skinwalker Ranch, and I'm 2 episodes in, and I gotta tell you guys, I'm starting to become annoyed with that show. It's ridiculous. So the second episode, if you guys watched, they went to the other property that Robert Bigelow owned back in the 70s. He bought this ranch as well as Skinwalker Ranch at the same time. And if you watch Carl the Crusher on YouTube, he is always investigating that area. Now, I'm sure there's no doubt that there are cool things happening, okay? Orange lights in the sky that they're talking about. If you watch the Carl the Crusher channel, they've found some old artifacts. They've done some testing on their own, found some magnetic anomalies in this lower field that they investigate in. And anyways, last night, the Beyond Skinwalker Ranch crew goes in, and of course they've only got 3 or 4 days to investigate before a huge storm is going to blow in, right? So right there we know we're under pressure. They've got to find something, and I'm like, oh, here we go. And they basically take the magnetometer and they find some anomalies, and they decide that they're going to just randomly blow up a hole in the ground with dynamite. Why? Because they've brought a guy there with all this dynamite. And right away, I'm like, they're not going to find anything. You can't just randomly go and say, oh, our scans show, you know, an anomaly here, okay? And as they're digging, they're finding all this sawdust at a mine site. And they're like, well, who would take the time to fill up the mine with sawdust? Well, A, they wouldn't. Guys, they probably had a sawmill, you know, that ran for 50 years in that place. And there's all this, you know, bits of wood and sawdust, and it's going to rot over time because it was deep. It was like 7 or 8 feet deep that they were digging through this stuff, okay? Very simple to explain that. There was a sawmill there. Anyway, they decided to blow it up, and of course, they found nothing. But there is a rock in the hole, a big boulder, and they're like, oh, there's something behind the rock. We'll have to come back next time. No, it was complete and utter nonsense, and I was so disappointed in that episode. I've got 5 episodes recorded. I'll let you guys know, but man, these shows are ridiculous, okay? People are finding things where there is nothing to find. And like I say, I'm not saying that there isn't something to find on that ranch. I think you need to investigate the actual anomalies that are there, which are these light orbs. Those things are there for sure. You know, other paranormal activity, but why just go and randomly blow a hole in the ground? It made 0 sense. It's like the drilling that they do at Skinwalker Ranch, you know? They're telling us that there's a dome-shaped item at Skinwalker Ranch because they drilled into it and the drill was being forced. Any hard surface, guys, I worked underground for many years, okay, as a blaster, okay? I taught electronic blasting. Any hard enough surface is gonna deviate the drill bit, okay? It doesn't mean that it's a turtle-shelled object, or in their case, a saucer-shaped object is what they're getting at. You know, it's nonsense that they draw these conclusions. And I think it's the producers and the people who are paying for these shows that are insisting that they find this anomalous crap, which really, that's not what they should be investigating, a hole in the ground. You should be investigating the things you can see and record. Just my 2 cents. The lights in the sky, that is crazy enough phenomenon right there. The readings you get, radiation, magnetic, electronic, these things, that is cool enough to warrant further investigation. But just randomly deciding you're going to drill into this hole or blow up a hole in the middle of a field, to me is nonsense and a waste of everyone's time. What do you guys think? Let me know in a comment below. Thought I just heard a distant knock there. Coming from that direction, but it could have been anything. So we're actually quite a ways short of my hunting blind here, the loop that I've made. We're still, oh, I don't know, half a mile from the hunting blind where I've come back out. I know where I am. That's okay. It's perfect. Closer to home. Maybe got a 15-minute walk home from here. So dark fall is here. It's been here for a week. It's rainy, it's cold, it's dark every day. Time change is going to happen at the end of this month, which means basically we're going to get 5 hours of daylight up here, okay? Very shortly. You know, it doesn't get light until 10 or 11 o'clock, light enough to, I mean, it's dark, you know, and then by 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's getting dark again. And next thing you know, it's midwinter, minus 30 and 8 feet of snow. So we do have to look forward to hunting season coming up this year. We do have deer tags. We will be out in the woods. Now, I know some of you guys are like, oh, we don't like hunting. Well, guess what? That is how a lot of these sightings occur, is from guys being out in the woods hunting, right? And this is what we do. We've I've done it since I was a kid. That's how we were raised up here. We're not trophy hunters. We are food hunters. We hunt for meat and winter's game, right? This is what we put in our freezers. This is what we eat all winter. Moose, deer, bear, grouse, rabbits. So there will be a lot of adventures coming out in which I carry the camera with me because we're going into the areas that nobody goes into any other time of the year. This is where we go up further, 50 to 100 miles out into the woods, right? The guys that are hunting here on the edge of town, they're not hunting. These are the pet deer. I've got two bozos that live next door, okay? They hunt the deer here in our yards that everybody feeds every year. Okay, so it's private property. I can't say anything about it, but it is annoying because that's not hunting. You know, if I wanted to shoot one of those deer, I'd go out in my driveway, open my shed door at night, and there'd be 5 of them standing there waiting for me to feed them, or, you know, and they're not going to run off. That's not hunting. So where we go hunting is out in the woods, you know, where the deer have not seen humans before, and we're going to traipse a lot of ground that humans have not walked. Sometimes people have not been there in many years, some of these places, right? And that is where, if there is a creature that wants to avoid human contact, is where we're going to find it. So there will be probably a 15 or 20 video series this fall coming up as we go through all of that. You know, probably I usually make a video every day, show you guys some cool country that we don't get to. I want to take Dad back to the Garnet Rock that I found last year. So Dad will be in a lot of those videos. Grant is back here living in town now, so he'll probably hunt with us again this year. So you guys can look forward to that or not. I put in the title, you know, hunting 2023 season, whatever it is. So if you're not into that, you can avoid those videos as well. And I'll probably put those on the other channel, Unfrequented World, because they are not 100% Bigfoot specific, but we are looking for Bigfoot in those videos. I'm always paying attention for any sign. I record any loopers, X's, broken trees, stuff like that. That will be on the other channel, okay, that series. All right, guys, I'm almost back at the house, so thanks for joining us. Gage and I are really wet and cold. We're going to go warm up, and we'll catch you guys in the next adventure.